Sometimes people are doing some shit, and they should stop doing that shit. Don't fucking do that. I'm gonna rapid fire a few. Expect jump cuts. If I'm wearing headphones, don't assume that I can understand the words that you're saying, for reasons that are obvious enough that I don't even have to elaborate on them before I move on. If you have to yell over your truck, maybe don't use the drive-thru, because even if you thought to cut the engine when you ordered, you probably weren't so considerate to the people in front of and behind you, and yes, it's that loud. Also, it becomes a realistic concern that we won't even be able to understand you without the engine through your thick Australian accent, because just based off the sound, you could only be the fucking road warrior. Don't say, I don't mean to sound racist, but, because you're basically just framing the next thing you say with, I'm pretty sure this actually is racist, but I don't care because I want to say it. In fact, say that if you really have to say the next thing. Just take responsibility for your own words. Don't try to extend someone's interests and who they are as a person, because that's not how people work. You're not called in alone just because you prefer cats, you just prefer cats. It doesn't make anybody inherently pretentious because they like good coffee, and I'm not a white kid that listens to rap because I have daddy issues. That's just why I hate country. Maybe don't ask someone what they're planning on doing after high school in the same way that you would ask them what they're planning on eating for lunch. I'm gonna have to extend this one. Some people have planned out what they're doing after school. That's great. Some people are okay with not having a plan. Also fine. But the people that are neither of those are already in the middle of their own daily identity/existential crisis, and when you ask if they've found their place in the universe in the same way that you would order coffee, but not coffee that you really care about, you basically make it so that the only appropriate response is, well, I guess I'm still getting a plan together. Despite the fact that the more honest response would be, well, life is meaningless, so I figured I'd go sleep until I die. Just don't assume that everybody has it figured out, because not everybody has it figured out. Maybe just ask what they're planning on eating for lunch. Expanding on that more, don't assume that you have to have it all figured out, because that's at no point true. It's not great that you have to go from asking to use the bathroom to pretty much building your life from scratch, and your choices do get a lot harder now, but that's actually a good thing, because unlike all of the other parts of your life, they actually matter now. Downside to that, you will have to put in a lot more work behind your decisions, but even that's okay because you have more time now, and as your environment changes, you'll change with it. Things are going to get harder. You don't get to choose that. What you do get to choose is whether or not you get harder with it. Get better with it. And yes, this is one of those cases of we give the advice we secretly need the most. From time to time, pretentious bullshit makes a solid point. In summary, do use the fact that you care enough to be stressed out as motivation. Don't stress yourself to death, or you'll try and push out a video before you have a stronger closing line. Don't fucking do that. Some people might think that these videos are kind of nitpicking, to which I would reply, yeah, duh.